General Krell here, and this is the Origami in Space podcast.
And here are your hosts, Matil and Rice. And today with Grievous Apprentice 15,
Hello.
aka Corey. Today we're going to discuss the final episode of Season 4 of the Clone Wars, Revenge. Okay, so let's get on to the meat of the situation, Maul's transformation. This is the first PR some meat and what happens before then. When Maul chases the light, it's really dumb. I'm sorry, I just don't like it.
Agreed.
He's like a puppy in that scene.
Yes, he just acts like an animal. Sure, he's supposed to be insane, but his level of insanity...
It's like borderline Osti Sobek. And that's saying
Yeah.
something, because he's pretty nuts as it is.
Whenever that scene came up, I was like, oh god, my predictions came true. Yeah, like, turned out to be really ridiculous in that scene. Treating him as a spider puppy.
Oh, yeah. That was just absurd. And when they brought Maul to the altar, when Maul got into the table, his arms stretched up, but then the spider legs curled up like he was a dying spider.
Kinda
And then
creepy.
they just fell off.
It was kind of
Which I just sort of like, you had to go with the dying spider analogy.
Yeah, I don't really know why they would do that. It was kind of creepy. Like, jeez.
But I really enjoyed how the legs fell away because, like, no, yes, the death of Spider Maul.
No! I like Spider Maul.
Well,
So
not-
many parodies and bad puns you could get from that.
And obviously there was the chanting background music, which some of it was like, for lack of a better name, Darth Maul's theme from The Phantom Menace, the sort of ta-ta-ta music. And also more chanting in that unknown language, which is probably Sanskrit, which is what Duel of the Fates is the language. Now, Mother Talzin's role, she did almost all of it, pretty much, but I'm wondering if part of the reason why she's doing that is obviously for her own benefit.
How?
Because by having someone else go out there and mess with these people, they're doing all the work for her, aren't they?
But I don't get it. She's allied with Ventress. Or is she not even allied with Ventress anymore? Because Ventress screwed her over royally.
Yeah, she pretty much said, oh, you're always a Ninth Sister, but I can't do anything for you anymore. That's what she pretty much said.
I never really got that, because Savage is against Ventress, and Talzin is helping both Ventress and Savage, and in a way, to execute each other.
I think this is kind of like a game to her.
I have
Yeah.
no idea. Maybe, she needed Maul and Savage to go after Ventress, so... I don't know.
Maybe she's just trying to prove herself as a threat to the galaxy.
Her motives are all screwed up. I don't know what they are.
Or maybe her motives are in the greater idea of I will influence what will happen in the Force.
That's what I was thinking. But why is she even helping Savage? He was only there so they could get revenge on Dooku. But that plan failed, and I assumed it was disbanded by Ventress. So why is she still assisting Savage?
Because it still causes chaos in the galaxy that is in her favor. That she has great...
But why? How? She's lost pretty much everything. I mean, sure, as she said, her clan can be rebuilt after time, but I really don't see how... why would she want to be at war with the galaxy now?
Well, as I suggested, influencing the path of the Force. And also, think of it. If she's toying around and distracting one of the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy, Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's not exactly beneficial for the Republic, is it?
But who said she's against the Republic? I think she's neutral at this point, because the Separatists went in there and pretty much ransacked her whole clan, and the Jedi, well, I didn't think she had any problem against the Jedi. I thought they were just a neutral planet or something. Because remember, in Night Sisters Trilogy Season 3, she said she wanted nothing to do with Dooku.
Well, I don't think this is one of those things where you can divide it into two groups, Republic or Separatist or neutral. I think it's where you need the fourth group, which is herself. That is, she's acting for herself. Just sort of like the Queen of the Zygerians was acting for herself. Her goals are selfish.
Neutral in the war. The whole war aspect. She's not on either side. There's only two sides fighting in the war, yeah?
In that sense, yes, she wants them to destroy each other.
Yeah. Oh, okay, this is getting confusing. Either way, her motives are in question for the time being. She appeared before Savage in like that mist, so I guess she can travel by mist now or something. I don't know why she didn't do that before.
She's just traveling with magic.
Seems very effective to do. I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome.
Then you do magic.
Like, boom. So then Obi-Wan, he sees Maul, cutting down.
Kill children.
What? He doesn't kill children in the hologram. He just kills people.
True. Yeah, he kills innocents.
Yeah, you don't see him actually kill any children. It's just implied.
But the slaying of innocents is an obvious reference to Revenge of the Sith.
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But still, and then Obi-Wan, he rages and he goes. I still don't know why they didn't send a clone squad or something with him. Send Anakin or send Wyneken with him. Wyneken could have done something.
Well, what Yoda said is that he must solve what he started. However, I see as part of this as the corruption of the final Jedi Order.
Obviously, it's corrupt. Well, obviously.
Mm-hmm. It's just sort of like, it's too passionate. It's not dispassionate. Just like Yoda regrets going after Sidious in Revenge of the Sith.
Exactly.
It's something that just results in nothing.
See, if Anakin had probably gone with him, I think that battle would have gone much differently.
True, but then there would be no point for Ventress.
But I'm just saying, as like story-wise, it would have made... Well, no, not as story-wise. It's like the whole logic of it would have made more sense.
But we're seeing a lot of divisions between Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka in various episodes where they're just sort of like, I'm going to walk off by myself and do my own thing.
Which is not very bright, but still.
Everyone's like a bad luck magnet this season. He gets the crap beat out of him a lot.
Yeah, and like every arc he's appeared in, except for the Umbara arc, he's gotten the crap kicked out of him. Literally, in every
And the
arc.
Umbara arc, he does nothing.
He gets his troops taken away and used by crap. Yeah, he gets screwed over. He didn't get beaten up, he gets screwed.
But I think it's supposed to show that Obi-Wan is not invincible and that he's not perfect.
That's for sure.
And that he's the most vulnerable of the three main characters.
He's the one who gets the crap kicked out of him the most.
Yes.
Like, holy...
Very true. And in this episode, this was like the most... Kidnapped did not come close to how much everyone got the crappy out of him.
Like, a normal person would not have survived that beating. Like, it's quite obvious. A normal person would have died, like, after...
Now, I was wondering about his little in-your-face teasing comments. I was wondering I wonder if this was supposed to be that simply, I can deal with beating, or either that he was starting to become so worn down, he was becoming sort of punch drunk. So he's just babbling like, I should have.
He was so stupid. I was like literally shouting at my TV, shut the hell up, you idiot! Like,
I mean, he only had like 2 quips, but he gave about 4,000 quips.
I love Obi-Wan and his whole character. Like, he's my favorite Jedi, but damn, he never knows when to shut up.
I don't know, maybe these silly lines are his version of a light-sided force power of Dune Mok, of influencing his opponent.
More like troll Mok.
Maybe that's what it
that
is.
didn't work on 2 Zabraks.
2 Zabrak force users who easily kicked the crap out of him.
But maybe it was a force power for himself, like reinforcing his own ability to resist was by saying these things.
He's just a troll. That's the only explanation. Like, no one in their right minds would have talked to those two the way he did. I like those legs. It makes you look taller. Like, what?
Like,
I know.
I cut you in half. I should have aimed for your neck.
Like, why would he say that?
That pissed them off really well.
Oh my god. What the hell is wrong with this guy? Maybe he wanted to die. Maybe he was like, I'm gonna die. I've had enough of this war.
I know it was supposed to be a special showdown, but did Obi-Wan just have to act like he was 19 years old again? No.
Yeah. But the fight was awesome. It was all choreography was like really well done.
I think this was one of the most intense lightsaber battles, or if not the one of the entire season.
This one, next to the one with Grievous and Ventress, that one I thought was pretty hardcore.
Oh, and noting about fighting and weapons, I noticed that the sound of Darth Maul's new blade is the same humming sound as heard in some of the teaser trailers for this episode. Notice that?
Yeah.
Sure.
That little hum. Which I was surprised that's where they got the sound.
Darth Maul, he didn't fight like the way he did in episode 1. Like in episode 1, he was flipping around and jumping all over the place.
Yeah,
Well-
but then again, he was cut in half, and he lost half of his lightsaber too.
Yeah, but even with his half lightsaber in episode 1, remember, like he was still flipping around, jumping, doing all those flips. He was doing he was going Ray Park style. And with his robotic legs, you'd think he would be a bit more flexible. He could easily have used them to his advantage, and he did in some scenes. Which, yeah, if he was agile enough to jump, why didn't he I think he still could have like done those flips he originally could have. It was almost like it wasn't Maul fighting.
And also, he was supposed to still be a little bit out of his mind. Which would affect his style. Just like going out of your mind affects your writing style.
True.
And, well, I was knowing the role of Savage Opress. Pretty much when he brought Maul to Talzin, he was just pretty much like, okay, he's my brother. I'm going to do whatever he says. I'll be like the tech crew. I'm going to fly the ship. Yay! I love my brother. I'll do whatever he says.
I don't know why Savage, acted so submissive to Maul. He's, bigger and stronger than Maul is.
Maul is more experienced in the Force. He was, apprenticed, to Sidious. He was probably more well-experienced, well-trained, and, all around more...
He's more worldly than
Savage.
Opress. He's extremely naive, which, again, would be another reason to listen to Maul. And also, Maul is family. And again, there's this tie about everyone's losing family, so it's like, you're my brother. I love you. Well, not quite that
Good
way, but...
Lord. I can only imagine Savage sounding like that.
Yeah, next friend.
Savage, I don't know. He's still the puppet. That's all he is. He's the puppet to Talzin.
I wish one thing they could have done with this episode, would see that, Savage is getting, kind of tired of being pushed around by Maul, but they didn't show that.
They have, an equal respect thing going on there.
Mm-hmm. More than anything else, I just felt like it was inconsistent characterization or inconsistent explanation of why Opress is suddenly acting this way, because in Brothers, Opress was like, I'm the smart guy, look at me, look what I can do, I'm being a slightly sympathetic character at this moment. And then he's just like, roar!
But again, he was fighting, two sworn enemies of his. Why do you expect him to react? Did you see what he did to that snake?
Trying to kill him, though.
He killed the snake and threw him into the fire.
Poor Morley. Poor Morley.
I think no one really feels sorry for Morley.
I feel sorry for Morley.
Ventress came to the fight. She was just like, wee, flippy flip.
Ventress was great in this episode.
Hell, she's great in every episode.
Yeah, I loved that one scene whenever she, said that Maul was half the man Savage
It was so
Oh,
trolls. I was laughing hard at that. She's just, standing out trolling them. I'm like, oh my god. So awesome.
He's just half the man he used to be. Now that was a funny quip, unlike Obi-Wan.
But Ventress, I think she could have handled herself a bit better than Obi-Wan. For one, I don't think she would have kept making those stupid quips if she was, at both of their mercy.
But it's also their different personalities, though.
True. They seem pretty similar in this episode, both trolling Maul and Savage when they're easily outmatched.
Yeah, I loved how they interacted in this episode, too.
Yeah, agreed. But
It sounded like an arguing married couple.
Yeah, that's what it was like. Oh my god, it would... they better not make Ventress a Jedi. They better not go...
I don't think that's going to happen. She's not going to do that because she loves being her own person.
Yeah, but a lot of people are, talking about how she may become a Jedi.
But also notice that she's showing us, not a heavy pair bonding with some of her bounty hunters, but a little bit of it.
Anyway, so the Fatal 4-Way death match was awesome, even though no one died.
Well, no one died. All they did was fight and flee. Because we all knew.
Kind of a disappointing ending.
No, it's gonna probably lead into next season's,
It's gonna be part of the premiere,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. It was an abrupt ending, but I don't think it was a disappointing ending. I think it was all really what we were expecting.
No, I was
It's
not expecting
disappointed
that.
me.
I was expecting that.
I was expecting Ventress to troll over Obi-Wan, and I wasn't expecting Maul to die, but the way they ended it, it's kind of odd.
It was also partly, in the terms of plot, a character introduction for Maul.
Yeah, they're probably going to expand on that more next season, so... Yeah.
Of course, they have to.
Yeah, well, what if it's another season finale thing we have to wait?
That's interesting.
That would be terrible. I can't wait
Yeah.
another whole season to see what happens to that red thing.
All the season finales have been different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can't have two more finales. That'd be like having two Trandoshan finales.
Oh god, no! I couldn't stand that one finale. Oh my god, no.
Mm-hmm. So, what do we rate this episode overall?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
I'd give it either a 6 or 7 out of 10. Because I was expecting it to be bad, but it really impressed me, like, compared to what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I give it I think I would say with like an 8. I think I would agree with Patil on this one.
It was good.
However, it had that abrupt ending, but it didn't really take more than that. Maybe like an 8.5
Had
for
an
me.
abrupt beginning too.
How much of the Clone Wars doesn't have an abrupt beginning or an end?
Let's see. Season 3's premiere was perfect. Like the premiere, the first episode, it was beyond awesome.
Flame Cadet.
I liked that episode. The beginning was awesome. It was like showing the clones in battle during the training. It was like
True,
awesome.
but also character introductions are, in terms of plot, are one of the easiest things to pull off right. Or at least in terms of Clone Wars, they've been doing character introduction episodes well.
Agreed.
Though usually character introduction episodes are usually slower paced too. Like with Bounty, we had this whole cast of bounty hunters, and so it was sort of slow. Instead, simply the kind of functional sort of episode, like ones with lots of fighting, usually have a tendency to feel more compressed than ones with not a lot of fighting. Also because when you're watching the episode, fighting feels like it's going faster in your mind, so you may realize, like, what? It's over already?
That's how I felt with this episode.
But it really did go like, okay, we are floating in space.
I was just
we
like,
can wait for our revenge.
I was just like,
for next season.
What? That's it? What?
Like, the ending disappointed me.
Just felt kind of abrupt and random the way they ended the fight.
And I miss that we haven't gotten a season 5 trailer yet.
Oh my God! Do not get me started.
That was another thing that disappointed me.
Rage
and
and fury.
I was like, oh my God, no teaser! What is wrong with you, Cartoon Network? Why are you?
Something they consistently done for 3 seasons, they suddenly broke the trend?
That's trolls. Trolls.
Contradictory. Well, what do we think of this season overall? I've heard a lot of mixed things about this episode. I've heard some particular fans be like, "Wow, this season sucked." Others like, "Oh, this season's alright. Oh, this season's not as good as season 3." I sort of felt like there were so many long story arcs in this one.
Yeah, I still didn't like the season that much. It got kind of boring throughout.
For me, the season was like a roller coaster. We had some good episodes and we had some bad episodes.
Yeah.
I think roller coaster analogy, that's great.
Yeah, it wasn't the best season, but it's certainly not the worst. Season 3 is my least favorite.
Season 2, I still say, is like the best one.
Season 3 overall, they tried to develop storylines more by having these long episode arcs. However, in the mind of an audience who was used to having lots of 1 or 2 episode arcs, it just sort of felt like, where did all our season go?
That's how I felt. I'm like, whoa, it's over already. Holy crap.
One thing I would like to see next season is having episodes that are not directly after each other, but they have connected stories, but without being directly in time after another. You know, like, oh, this episode's supposed to happen a month after the other one.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like,
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a more continuous storyline as a whole. That would be amazing.
Like, this season was, like, full of linked stories. Like, there were only 2 episodes that had standalone stories, and they were rushed.
And they were terrible.
But I'm talking about each of the storylines individually. They didn't really connect to another story arc. There were all these separate story arcs.
They were all different. None of them connected or intertwined.
I know. I would love to have a huge story arc next season.
It was so bad. Like, I thought Friend in Need was going to lead into the Bounty Hunter arc thing, but it didn't. It had nothing to do with it. Let's not even go there.
Which was the worst episode this season?
Shadow Warrior. The image of Jar Jar kicking Grievous's ass. It's permanently burned into my retina. You'll never get rid of it. It's always, I can always see it. Jar Jar throwing that little blue ball and hits Grievous. Oh my God. God damn.
Okay, now what do we think is the best episode of the season?
That is hard to say.
Massacre.
Either Massacre or Carnage of Krell. I can't decide. They're like both.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Massacre is definitely the best episode of the season.
That's an opinion, but yeah, I think Massacre probably, because I found myself watching Massacre like the most. Like, I've rewatched it so many times, I have it practically memorized. Well, like Carnage of Krell.
That's definitely one of the best episodes of this season, as it had such richness of character in it.
Agreed.
because it was both slow and fast at the same time. They actually focused on character development. I mean, I don't care if they had cliche zombies on. They made sense for the magic of the Night Sisters. I don't care, but the character development is unsurpassed in almost anywhere in other Clone Wars. Top 10 list? Well, we're going to have top 10 villains. Villains in the sense of characters who are traditionally seen as bad. Even though Ventress had a turn for the good side, she's counted as a villain. You get the idea. Characters are generally... Okay, well, for number 10, we start off with Maul.
Of course. He's number 10 for obvious reason. He barely did anything. For me, I think he's on here because, you know, the way Sam Witwer portrayed him. Like, the emotion he expressed, whoa, that's hardcore.
Sam Witwer did some of the best voice acting of this setting, and also gave us one of the silliest moments of the season with Spider Maul.
And Puppy Maul.
And number 9 goes on to Rish Lu.
He was a badass.
He broke the character stereotypes of good Gungans with an evil Gungan.
Yes, and a separatist Gungan. He had a really nice design to him. I like the way he looked. He was awesome.
Yeah, it had kind of like a mustache.
Yeah, they all have mustache. Well, Tarple's had a mustache.
And on to number 8, Savage Opress. Sure, we saw them last season, but he's still notable and sort of, I don't know, just...
He's a puppet. He's a puppet for Mother Talzin. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he still had some good character development in Brothers, even though that episode was weird.
Yeah, really slow.
Weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
With the incidents of Spider-Maul, he still sort of upheld himself above Maul. Number 7, Moralo Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, in some parts he was kind of like an O.C. Sobek ripoff, but he brought a little bit plotting personality that he sometimes missed from villains in the Clone Wars.
I hope
He had some backstory to him.
He killed his mother because he was bored. Like, that's hardcore. Like, oh my god.
That is Trandoshan evil worthy.
And he starts like talking in third person sometimes. Like, have you thought that was fun? I laughed at that. That was.
And he walks like a chimpanzee.
Yeah, he fights like a chimpanzee. He picks you up and he throws you. What's up with these Findians? They can't fight for squat.
Number 6, Bo-Katan. This one is mostly on there for character design.
I love her. I love
female
this
Mandalorian.
chick. Oh
Such a big
love her.
disappointment.
Female fighting Mandalorian.
No character at all.
Corey, your argument is invalid here. This is
It
awesome.
is not invalid.
This isn't about characterization. This is about looks.
This is about a sexy Mandalorian chick. She kicked ass. She's awesome. Enough said.
Number 5, Grievous. Yes, Grievous faced a humiliating defeat in Shadow Warrior. However, he proved himself again in Massacre.
He did redeem himself slightly, but getting pwned by Jar Jar, that was pretty. That's why he's number 5, because you can't forgive getting beat.
He's amazing. I can always forgive him.
Number 4,
He and the
Rose
Grease
Tamson.
people.
This eating shark proves himself as just a separatist who knows how to fight. Unlike many separatists who can't fight worth a trap.
Hello? Have you seen Grievous?
Oh, true. Sorry.
In the end.
Plus, part of this is for character design, because he's an awesome shark.
It's Karkadon. Karkadons are awesome.
Karkadon, which is part of the Latin name for the great white shark. Number 3, Queen Mirage Skintel.
I love her. She was awesome.
No!
Corey.
So shut up.
Well, anyway, this one is for characterization. She is someone who is in the gray zone, which is wonderful. She is both seductive and powerful, and also has control over one of the most annoying characters, Wyneken, which is special. Plus, she's a sympathetic character at a time in which you can't totally love her either.
Whoa, no, I loved her. I loved her like throughout the whole time she appeared. I loved her as a being. She was awesome. I loved like the whole design and the way she acted. It was so epic.
2, Asajj Ventress.
Hell yes.
She perhaps showed the most interesting character transformation of the entire series that no one was entirely expecting, continuing what happened from season 3 in just about one of the few connected arcs of this entire series. She's amazing.
She's a badass
voice actress.
Oh yeah, Nika Futterman all the way, baby.
With appealing character design.
Oh,
And
yeah.
a story that made sense, that made emotional sense, from loss and loss again to trying to get something. At position 1, General Krell.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
General frickin' Pong Krell. This is gonna get so much fan rage.
Again, we had someone who broke the bland character stereotypes of a perfect Jedi. Here we had a dark Jedi who anticipated Order 66.
Yes,
Crying
he's such
out
a
loud.
badass. Like, oh my
Love this
god.
character.
I mean, he broke the entire thing of a weak, whiny Jedi.
Who does nothing and simply treats their clones
Plus, he
like...
used double-bladed lightsabers.
Oh, shit. And he
Hmm?
rarely ever used them. Like, it made you think, like, is this guy really the Jedi I think he is? And he whips them out into Carnage of Crown. You're like, oh, frick. And there's that one clone that runs at him like an idiot.
Krell was just a manifestation of power.
Which was epic.
Loved
And
how many
treachery.
clones he killed. Yeah,
And his species. I love... Well, they're called, like, the Basilisk, I think they're called?
the best.
Hmm?
The best... I love... Like, I like Dexter Jesse. He's funny,
Yes,
isn't
a character species that was not cliched.
he? Exactly. It was nice to see something different. Like, another human or...
Not being stereotyped as an evil species or a good species, like Rhodians or Zobreks or whatever keep on getting pressed into.
Exactly. But this is a new one because I liked seeing him. Yeah, well, the first time I saw him in the trailer, I was like, oh god, Dexter Jesse.
Everyone knew he was going to be an awesome character, and he was.
He was beyond epic. He like far exceeded my expectations. Like as soon as I saw him in like the first episode,
And truly, he had an amazing character design. Like,
Exactly.
the Basilisk's design really worked for a villain.
it does. Yeah, it's really intimidating, and he was buff and he was badass. He had like 4 arms going at once. It's like Grievous. He's got 4 arms,
True. Except each arm is actually really strong.
and he could like rip a clone in half if he wanted to.
It's fun for everyone.
Yes. Oh my god,
And-
the clone fans are gonna rage.
And well, to go in with other categories, we also have for best performance, obviously being voice actor, we have Dave Fennoy. I think we explained a lot of reason why we chose Dave Fennoy, because he's awesome.
Well, because the way he emotes the character of Krell, he's just so you don't expect him to be a villain for like the first 2 episodes. You think he's just like this hard drill sergeant type Jedi, but then when you see him in Carnage of Krell, his voice changes. It becomes really freaking dark.
It goes from like, oh, I'm deep voice, then it goes like,
It goes like
He was an amazing voice actor. He did an incredible job, and he's a really nice guy in real life. He's epic.
intros for
nice guy with dreadlocks. From best performance, it goes to dumbest character. And you know what I say is the dumbest or silliest character? Daron, the silly squid guy, who makes silly sounds like
He does like mating
On
calls.
steroids.
and has 3 eyes and just looks and wears a mushroom for hat.
God damn! What is with the production team when they came up with that?
It's like an electric squid
They could
man.
have put Zuckus or
He
Forlom
was-
in there.
He was a Goomba on steroids. That's what he was.
He was.
And he's like a floating balloon.
What the hell is wrong with that thing? Oh my god, it was just so
Everything.
terrible. He's worse than Jar Jar. I'm happy to say he's way worse.
Oh no.
He
Please
might be
don't
back.
show up in season
Oh
5.
my god, he's gonna be back in season 5.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Give us a season 5 trailer.
What if he's like the first thing you see? Just as the
Oh,
trailer
no.
opens up, you see a
Oh
big
my
image of him yelling at the screen. Go,
A Goomba
Oh.
on steroids greeting us for a
oh
teaser.
my god. That would be some scary shiz.
That would be worse than a whole season of nothing but Jar Jar.
Oh my god. Watch, I bet you I jinxed it now. Watch. Oh my god, what if that happens?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Got some ideas.
Like, I jinxed that Jar Jar would take out Grievous, and then Jar Jar, he took out Grievous.
Oh.
God. Oh god.
Oh no, please don't jinx that Wyneken takes out Maul.
Oh god. Let's get off this topic. This is a dangerous topic.
Giving them too many ideas already.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, since this season of the Clone Wars has come to an end, we're going to have some other kinds of segments. Including, most obviously, we're probably going to review some past episodes of Clone Wars before the podcast was started. Good things such as top Star Wars fan videos of the week, general thing about various other Star Wars related news, and Star Wars poems, and so forth.
What fan would write us a poem? We're writing the poem.
I'll be the poet laureate.
I'll read the poems like I did in that video to Holly.
What should I write my first poem about?
Maul. Let's write about Spider Maul and how he's.
Do you want to be serious or funny?
Be funny.
Okay, I'm gonna write a funny poem about Spider-Man.
And then I'll read it.
We will also be having Anna Graves on the podcast.
Around early April, and Dave Fennoy around late April, early May. So look out for that.
General Crown, Duchess of Tea.
So may the fold be with you.
May the space be with you.
May the boobies.
No,
May the-
Corey, no. Why would you do that?